Less.
Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. We've reached episode 779. It is June 26, 2024 as we record this. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm Brett Van Springberg.
And I'm Kent Burgess.
And we're back. We're podcasting in spite of the fact that there was some severe weather in my area. I was unaffected, and I have power, I have internet. Brett, unfortunately, has now received that weather as it moves east. Yes. So at any moment, he could go dark, and we'll just have to continue without it. But
you might get a brief kind of like look at a snow pattern and trees crashing into the room and stuff like that. So that might be a great freeze frame or key frame for YouTube opportunity there.
Did
so,
you just say snow crash?
Neil Stephenson.
we have to thank some patrons. And by the way, you can support PCPer by going to patreon.com/PCPer and be like, Goal Scamp and Tired Gaming Dad. And who isn't really if you're a dad at this point and a gamer?
These are two folks that I pulled from the archives. And, I'm kind of doing a new
Greatest
thing
hits.
here where we kind of dip back in and go like, these folks have been supporters for quite some time. And they take the time out, especially Tired Gaming Dad, to make some comments, to like some of our posts. So I just want to say I really appreciate you guys staying with us, or just folks, I don't know if they're guys, maybe not, whatever. But I appreciate the time and energy that you take to support the show. Thank you very much.
And one of the things you're supporting is Josh's burger addiction. Well, at least I hope it's a burger. We never know. We never know. Can you stop though if you wanted to?
Can he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so did you have a burger this week or not?
I did have a burger this week.
You're an
and it was pretty good burger.
He's addicted
This
to
one
eating.
is called.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I like to eat. As you can tell by my moon-like face. Anyway, today's burger was the dog days, because even though we're not quite in the dog days of summer, it sure seems like it. This is comprised of a single onion smash patty, which oddly enough, they gave me two, and I'm not sure why, but I'm not complaining. It's got tangy mustard, candied jalapenos, which sadly they ran out of candied jalapenos, and so I had to just get regular jalapenos, smoked bacon, and American cheese, all on a pretzel bun. It was a nice special that they had today. It's quite tangy, very cheesy, lots of meat in there, and I ate it all, and now I'm on the 24 hours of not eating. But luckily, beer is not food. That's a big leak.
If you need a green onion, let me know. I would have sent you one. The garden produced some obnoxiously sized ones.
Is that even a green onion anymore? I mean, when it's that size?
Yes, it very much is a green onion. It tastes exactly like one. It's just, supersized.
Let's move to our featured review, which is at the beginning of the show now. Because Josh, he has words for you all.
Yeah,
lots of
sometimes words should be done when things are fresh. So I got sent a card by XFX, and it's the 8800 GTX.
8800 GTX.
That is
Nice.
That is a very high performance CPU.
This has been a fantastic card for the past 17 years. It still holds up today. It's got DDR3 memory. It's got a pretty significant heatsink. Oh, wait. I guess maybe
that one's only got 3 X's in the name, Josh. It's the wrong one.
I know, but it's got 1.5 gig of memory?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how much it was? I can't remember.
How would you even use that much frame buffer?
I know. It's just insane.
Wait, are you gaming at 1280 by 1024, Josh, or are you still at 1024?
No, it was 768. It was 768 megabytes.
Okay.
It wasn't even 1 gig yet. Yeah. But no, XFX.
He was asking about resolution. The resolution you gamed at.
Did you do your testing at 728 or at 1024?
Or 1280.
Like 1280 by 1024.
More like 640.
Oh, 640 by 480. Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
In those days, really,
yeah.
8800 GTX Air, you were still 640 by 480.
No, it was a 1024 card.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could if you're an SLI, you could get it up to 1280. Well, yeah, 1080p. What are you doing, Kat?
You can't hold a tail up to that 8800 GT.
Hey,
You've muted yourself again,
40
Jeremy.
megs.
Some of us weren't quite so rich back in the day. We had to settle for, second best.
No, I didn't actually buy this one. It was sent to me by XFX because we did the World Multi GPU tour of reviews of NVIDIA versus ATI or AMD at the time. So, yeah, that was why I got sent one, and I've got a second one up there. I'm running an SLI. It was a beefy setup for the time. But anyway, yeah, XFX used to be an NVIDIA partner. They got dropped, and so they picked up AMD cards, and that's exactly what we have today. Now, I've reviewed several XFX cards in the past. They've all been really, really good, kind of above average products in terms of build, cooling. I've had very few problems with them at all. And they're just fast. They're well supported. Their RMA policy apparently is quite decent. But they're going into a new series, even though that AMD is not releasing new cards, new chips. XFX is doing a refresh, and that is this RX 7900 XTX limited edition. And not only is it just a monster card, I mean it's massive. Let's take a look here. Oh, and note the 3x12 power. It's gigantor. 3 slots, and it's wide as the day is long, and it's got to be because it's got 3 100mm fans. Let's take a look at a previous generation card, the EVGA RTX 3080. And we can see the difference there, as well as, I've got darn microphones. How stinking thick these things are. Massive. 2 slots, pretty much a full 3. It's, faster clocked. It's a little overclocked, not stratospheric, but it's up there. The biggest thing, of course, is they patented new fans. And everybody has, seen removable fans in the past. I mean, if you have enough time, you can remove any fan from any video card, but you can't do it easily. There have been, some attempts. The mechanism just doesn't seem to work out. And again, nobody really developed it, but XFX has patented these fans, and they're magnetic. And not everybody knows exactly how they work, but let me tell you, trying to pull them out sometimes. Let's do this. You just... Was I doing it with one hand in the review? I don't know why it's not working today. Let's just grab it by one. There you go. As you can see, it's got a ring. There are 4 power pins, power, ground, speed, and whatever the hell else. You can see the 4 rings in there that each of the pins attach to, and it's got very, very strong magnets in here. So if you've ever taken apart a hard drive and you've messed with the magnets in there and have pinched the skin on your finger, that's about how strong these things are. They stay in place. They're really well balanced. They don't vibrate. It's a ducted fan, so you don't get the noise from the turbulence off the ends of the blades. And also you have increased air pressure due to kind of the ring around the end. So you get really good cooling that isn't really very loud. Whenever I started up a 3D game, and, the fans are always off when you're in just, 2D mode Windows. Start a game, the fans start, and you don't hear the difference. There's Essentially none whatsoever in audio, unless you have a fairly sensitive microphone to pick these things up. You don't hear it over the noise of the rest of the computer, namely power supply, or if you've got a liquid cooler, the twin or triple fans in there make more noise than this thing. The only time I ever heard this spool up was when I took the limit up and overclocked it, and it was pulling some almost 600 watts. It was like 575 watts at the wall that when overclocked this thing was pulling. Otherwise, if you don't overclock it, it's still a very, very fast card. It's super quiet. It still pulls a lot of power. It's like, 510? I can't remember my exact things. I've got a sheet over here, but I've got my hands full. So it's hard to reach over. And I'm sure Sebastian, with his photographic memory, can tell you. You're still looking above 500 watts of power with a reasonable machine.
I have to pull up
I tested this with a 5800X3D. So that's not a very power-hungry CPU. But you plug this thing in, and, say, for instance, if you compared it to a 4070 Ti Super, which is 16 gig card running around $800, that's sitting around 430 to 450 watts at the wall. This is about 100 watts more, but it's a lot faster. The cooling on this is, well, let's pop this thing back in because it's kind of fun to just see it snap. I mean, it's a patent pending on these things. They're well made. They're great. Cooling wise, this is a monster heatsink. It's a heavy, heavy, heavy card. It never got above 66 degrees Celsius, which, if you're pulling 570 some odd watts from the wall, and triple power, that you're probably pumping the heat out. But the cooling is so good that it just never got hot. Performance-wise, it in some games it performs up to the level of a 4090. When you do RT, it's slightly above like a 4070 Ti Super. But you get a full 24 gigs of memory. It's an incredibly fast card. Again, pulls power. It's less than $1,000. I think it's $979 retail that you can purchase this. And considering that AMD probably isn't going to have another high-end card for a while, this is going to compare very well at that price point for some time. And then plus you get the magnetic fans. Furthermore, if one of these fans breaks, you contact XFX, you send it in, they send you a free one, no questions asked. It's like lifetime replacement on these fans. They're very proud of them. They're not in the low-end cards. I think 7800 XT is the lowest card that they'll be offering these magnetic fans. But they're great. They're great units. Super quiet, super cool, very fast, and really good build quality. That thing's a brick. You could build a house out of it. It'd be kind of a drafty house, but nonetheless, you could still probably do that. What are you guys' impressions? Do you think the magnetic fans are a little bit of a gimmick, or is it a nice thing? Because let me tell you, when you get, one of the things that annoys me the most is trying to clean the dust off of the back of the fan. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can clean the dust off there, but trying to get in here into these veins and getting all the dust and crap, it's hard. Trying to, get in there without, spinning your fans up or getting your fingers caught trying to stop the fans that your, canned air is doing to get into there. I mean, it's just so easy to get to. You just pop them out, and it's great to clean.
You can blow out the heatsink really easily too.
What's that?
You can blow out the heatsink really easily too because the fan's not in the way anymore.
Yeah. So it's a really fun design. It's overbuilt for what it is, but it pays off dividends because it just runs so incredibly cool and quiet at just regular, clocked standard speeds. You do overclocking, you're going to get, a little bit more noise. So what was the screen that you had thrown up before this one, Sebastian? About what graph was that?
That was just performance graphs. I was playing that section. 525 from the wall was the power measurement that you had.
Okay, so I was a little overstating it. 525 is still a lot.
That means the card was probably at 400 plus.
Yeah.
Because that CPU on a gaming load is probably 100 watts, maybe.
Otherwise, it's a great card. I've really enjoyed working with it. It's been easy to work with. I've had no issues. AMD has improved their drivers over the years, so it's not a horrible experience. Play Starfield like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah. Join the 800,000 concurrent. Oh, wait, that was the banana game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Nice throwback.
But anyway, going back to the questions, you guys think that the magnetic fans are just a goofy thing, or is it something that can have legs?
I think it's legit. I like it.
You guys have to watch the video because there's one part where he's talking about the fans again. I think this section of that video is called Josh Talks About the Fans Again or something like that. And he he's like, hey, I sent Sebastian a video clip. So then I just played the video clip while he's talking. And you can see they just have the card powered on. It's laying there. And they just throw a fan on. It starts spinning. Throw another fan on. It starts spinning. Throw the third fan on. It's magical.
They're like magic little
It is, because what's powering it?
Well, I think they've hidden that just out of frame there.
Oh.
It's too bad I didn't have my office totally set up by then, because it kind of looks like a disaster.
The video quality,
now.
Josh, was...
The denoising is very impressive.
I did a lot of denoising on this one. A significant amount of denoising.
I need
Took
to
an
get a new
extra
camera, I guess.
2 or 3 hours. Yeah, I was just thinking, the way the space you have now with a little bit of shallow depth of field, they could just be like this soft background. It would look good. It's not too busy. Just soften it up.
Okay. See what I can do.
You can't do that with a webcam, though. Like you have to fake it if you're using a webcam. Because the apertures are so small. I'm on a 1.4 aperture right now, and these games behind me are right there. Like I'm touching the games, but they're just out of focus. And if I had like a longer, let's say I had a 50 millimeter lens. I used to use a 50 millimeter 1.8. The compression from anything that's even close to zoom is going to create an even softer background. Wide angle lenses never look as soft, even at like 1.4, because there's not as much compression. So I have a 30 millimeter, the Sigma 30 that I think Kent uses this one. I have a Sigma 30 1.4.
I have that lens, but I'm using the Viltrox 2023 1.4 now.
Oh,
I think
okay,
it's a 23.
Yeah, that's that newer one, right? It's 35 millimeter equivalent if it was full frame, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Viltrox makes some very compelling. People love hearing this. This is what they tune into this live stream for, to hear us talk about.
Kind of is.
What are you doing like Sony E-mount lenses these days, guys? Just me and Kent, who have similar looking kind of video quality, oddly enough. I'm on the ZV-E10 this is my primary live streaming camera, and it's just I'm streaming directly USB-C off of it, so it's only 720, but it still looks fine. You don't need to see me in higher resolution than 720 anyway. Should probably turn on the PV filter so it smooths out my skin.
Problem.
Yeah.
Let's move to news. And our first story, it's all about OneDrive, Microsoft's next surprise. OneDrive backups automatically enabled. I love how Microsoft keeps on doing things for us to make our lives better.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to have all of their files automatically being saved to OneDrive? And then you're going to run out of space, and then you're going to need to pay for more.
Hot on the heels of Copilot and all the automatic magic they put into that.
Well, and you missed Monday's story, which is actually the next story, because This was the next gift for this week, because they've given us 2 wonderful gifts. But, like, really, I'm just picturing the amount of relatives that are suddenly going to be phoning up saying, I have a virus. There's all these green check marks on my icons on my desktop. Oh, and I'm getting all these emails from Microcoff that says I need to give them money or they're going to delete all my files. Because, yes, that is true. If you're using the free version of Microsoft OneDrive, which, guess what? You are now, unless you've since disabled it and then stolen all of your files back so that they don't just disappear. But if you're over the 5 gigs and you got about 6 months to fork over money to Microsoft for monthly subscription to increase your storage, or they delete your OneDrive. They don't trim it down so that it's under the 5 gig limit. No, they just delete it all. And since OneDrive is the online version, is the ruler and master of what you actually have, that means that all the files in your documents, downloads, pictures, and desktop that got uploaded to OneDrive are now gone. And in many cases, as in like pretty much all of them, because you're not paying for them, irrecoverable. Gone. The cloud just went poof and gone. They haven't told anyone about this, so that's what we're doing, is telling you that this has happened. And yeah, if you haven't managed to only have a local account, which we'll bring up very soon, and even still in some cases they will have done it, yes, boom, you have been backed up. And if you've got family members sending you emails, there are steps to go for manage backup, stop sync, stop backup, download everything, not necessarily to your desktop. Make a new folder, download everything there. Make sure OneDrive is gone, then uninstall it. You can try and go into group policy and block it, but don't worry, they'll change that again next week. And the most lovely thing about this all, as much as it seems like an inconvenience and a frustration, do we store a smeg load of personal information on our desktop documents and pictures, sort of like a treasure trove for anyone who wanted to do identity theft, anyone who wanted to see your tax records, anything else that you tend to, save to your machine that you don't really want up there. Well, guess what? Microsoft has put it all up there. Surprise. The other thing they did this week was they hid the ability to switch from a Windows account, like a Microsoft account, to a local account.
What?
There used to be instructions on how to do this. It is actually still incredibly easy. Like, they haven't stopped you from being able to do it. If you go into the settings app and then accounts, you can still sign in with a local account instead, set it up, a little bit of 2FA to switch over. But other than that, if you were looking because you weren't really familiar with how Windows is, and I just want to sign into my computer, I don't want to have to make a Hotmail account or link my Gmail account to Microsoft or anything like that. Well, they completely and totally took down the instructions on how to do that. So it's Microsoft. It's the gift that just keeps giving.
You have a choice. You can pick your video card. You can pick, from 2 vendors. You can, 3. Forget about Intel. Sorry. You can pick your processor from 2 vendors. You can
3.
There's a whole
3.
ARM.
Qualcomm.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't
4.
actually buy a Qualcomm processor to put in a PC.
Okay.
No.
Hey,
No, but
what about
you can
what
buy
about this
overpriced 128 core ARM Cerebus? I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
You can get those from Supermicro now.
I'm just talking about for
What
average
about Microsoft.
gamers. Like, if you want to build yourself a gaming PC, you can buy.
But I want an AI powered Surface Plus.
No. Then you're not a true enthusiast, okay? If you want
you're a heretic.
some clamshell with AI, then you're not really a PC enthusiast. My point is, we have all these choices for all the components that go into the system, and then everybody installs Windows because, it's for gaming. There's not that much of a performance penalty for using Proton. So, Proton is what it's called, right? I need to actually start doing this more and not just talking about it. Because every time I install Linux and start using it, the machine is noticeably faster and just more useful. And typically everything just works better. Like printer installs are better. They just work. And, by most systems that I install these distros on, like when I'm testing mini PCs, it's like, oh, the Wi-Fi works out of the gate. Everything's just working. Sound typically works. Not doing a lot of extra steps to get everything going. You can emulate Windows if you really need it for something. Like emulate Windows to run Office if you have to, or just, everybody has like Office subscriptions, I guess. They can just use it in the browser.
I have found some games on Linux machines that I've set up for gaming that don't specifically allow you to run their game in either Linux or Windows in a VM, simply because bad actors in the world took advantage of the operating system kind of wrapping around it and Linux's very open way of interfacing with processes and the huge array of tools for debugging and messing with processes that there are freely available, and the straightforward nature of that. And they've shut that down. A lot of gaming companies or particular games have shut that down due to cheating. So several bad actors have essentially ruined it for everybody in that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Linux doesn't want to run a lot of the anti-cheat stuff because it's like, I'm sorry, you want to move into my kernel? Yeah. I don't think I want you there.
Oh, no, thank you.
No.
Only systemd can truly mess up my kernel, and I dialed back I dialed back my explicative that I really wanted to say on that.
Next news story from Serve the Home. Intel Optane 905p 1.5 terabyte drives. You can get those for $299. I saw this the other day. I think Wendell was talking about it.
Roughly $1,000 markup from MSRP. Or markdown.
Yeah.
They launched.
Yeah.
Or no, 2,000. I think they launched at about $2,300.
Let's see if it's still $299. Okay, so
it's only $349.
No, it's $50 coupon code.
Oh yeah,
it's
so there you go.
$349.99. There's a $50 promo code, Summer673, up to and a $20 promotional gift card. They're just giving these away, so it's effectively $279 if you're only buying one.
So I was talking to Alan literally like 2 or 3 days ago about this exact situation, and he relayed to me that when he left Intel, they had a fairly sizable stock, and they got all of the stock from Micron that moved over. They essentially came back to Intel, and they started putting these out, but they still had all of the componentry to assemble them, and they could either essentially could become e-waste, be sent to the landfill because it was already written down. They had already essentially exited this space. So they had all the componentry to essentially keep assembling these for some period of time. When his estimation is that's why you're seeing these at these, practically fire sale pricing, and they're selectively picking a few outlets to move them. Obviously, Newegg being one of them. And these are going to be available until they're gone, but there will be no more. So if you like this sort of thing, get them while they're essentially very inexpensive. Okay. It's great memory.
The problem is, why don't you show that interface?
Well, yeah, this is the issue.
This is the issue.
What, the fact that one user said that his arrived with clear signs on the traces that this had been plugged in before, possibly during testing.
No, I'm just saying, how many people have? I mean, we're expecting SATA 6, right? And then you think, oh, well, this is going to be a SAS 12. Gee, no, it's not. So you got to prepare and make sure.
It's U.2. So, there are adapter cards for this.
You need a little star check. Put a little star check between you and your interface, but sure.
I mean, the kind of people who would be into this already know about this interface, and there's boards out there with U.2 native on the board.
Yep.
True.
It's not expensive. Look at this. Like a kit. Here's $10.99 from some company.
Look,
I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just you need to know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Fair. Absolutely.
You're getting into something that does not have the...
You like low Q depth performance.
Yeah.
That's what Optane wants, and still is.
NVMe adapter.
There are companies out there like StarTech our StarTech that will allow you to interface practically anything to anything. You could
Yeah.
a ham sandwich to PCIe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Truly.
No, Maltavino was on earlier today, and he posted an adapter that looked like it would
okay.
hold about 8 or 12 of them. Because he has a reputation to maintain.
That's
true.
If you're buying, you don't just buy one of these. You buy a lot of them.
Wendell's
That
probably going
price.
to buy all of them.
He's gonna try to make that happen. All right, let's move to our next news story. Now, I know a lot of people probably have some kind of Amazon Alexa device in their lives, even if it's not in their own home. So $5 or $10 a month. Is it worth it? Basic Alexa,
No.
$5 a month. All the things they want to tack on to your Prime subscription to make it even more. Was it already like $180 a year? Maybe it's $200 by now.
It went down
No,
this year.
Alexa used to be
Oh,
free.
did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know it was
Alexa
free.
was free, and you got everything you paid for.
And then they're like, wait a minute, we're not making any money off of this. So I guess we have to go to a
true.
subscription model. This is the problem with all this. It's not AI. And somebody was pointing out in the chat earlier, none of this is. You're right. It's machine learning and large language models. But the problem with all of this is it doesn't actually result in money for the companies buying all of NVIDIA's stuff to try to do something with it yet. I mean, how much has anyone made off of AI yet?
I don't know, but NVIDIA just
digital
lost a hell of a lot.
assistants.
I thought you said blockchain there for a second, but anyway.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's the basis of everything. But yeah, let's see. There's any number of digital assistants out there. You can get a Google Pod and put it in your home somewhere that'll play music through Bluetooth or whatever it does, and you can yell at it and have it tell you stuff. But that's still free as far as I know on the Google side of things. Now Amazon wants to charge for this.
Well, yeah, because it's a failed business model and no one likes it. So by charging money for it, they will obviously attract a whole bunch of people.
But they've got a great name for their high-end service. What was it again, Jeremy? Their high-end Alexa service?
Alexa, the ripoff.
Remarkable.
Remarkable Alexa.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the $10 a month level. So if you're in for the $10 a month, you're going to get a remarkable Alexa experience. So says the writing on the outside of the box.
Yeah, because I want the NSA to have a remarkable experience of listening to Josh ask about bad 80s Duran Music.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel sorry for that person.
There's definitely a direct line to three-letter agencies listening to you. That's totally true. That is true.
They don't pay. They
have
don't
no
pay
chance
$10 a month.
They have no chance of making money with it until they change it to Alexa AI.
You're right. It should have been all along.
And then the money will be rolling
Alexa
in.
AI.
I'm sure.
Alexa AI.
Falcon Northwest. Putting us on mute. Keeps on waking up as Alexa. Next
That's
up, a story from
frighteningly good.
eBay. eBay, the source of this news story. The Seagate store, it's new. They actually have their own official store. It's not fake. I saw some press release about this. Look at all these drives on here. What kind of life expectancy can I get from one of their reconditioned Seagate drives?
Real refurb, but you just passed like a screaming deal. If you go up to see this 22 terabyte.
15% off. Wow. 16% off on these.
No, the 22 terabyte is
200. You scroll past it again. Just down one more
I'm just looking at the
row,
percentage savings.
Lower.
Dang it.
There it is, right there.
There you go.
$311 for 22 terabyte. It's a lot of storage for $300.
That's 16% off, and it's not new.
It's not new, but it is.
I want more of a discount. If I'm getting refurbished, I don't want just 16% off. Give me like 25% off.
I mean, a lot of these drives that you buy from vendors for a little bit of percentage off, they may not even be the actual manufacturer. It might be just a sticker slapped on, whatever.
How many hours has this been on? You get those numbers?
I don't know.
It says eBay refurbished.
Backblaze.
Tested by qualified refurbishers and function as intended. Well, yeah, I'm sure they function as intended, like 300,000 hours in.
I sense you're pooping on this idea right now.
I am. Seagate doesn't have the best. They're not like Maxtor or anything, but
right.
Seagate typically doesn't have the
You're
most
holding
sterling
out for
reputation
Death Star, aren't
as
you?
far as longevity.
Good old Toshiba.
goes. That was IBM with the Death Star.
Yeah, well,
I'm not enjoying Toshiba's. I won't buy those again.
no,
Is Western
because the
Digital
same damn
still
thing
the
as
gold standard,
IBM
or has
used
it
to
moved
do.
on? Are there enough good Seagate drives that it's
Yeah,
30-day warranty? Yeah, I agree. 30-day warranty. First of all, they're not telling you like how many hours. They're not
No,
giving you any kind of guarantees.
30
It's a
days or
30-day
100
warranty.
meg, whichever comes first.
We buy all of these from Backblaze when they're done with them.
Right.
And then
exactly.
But these are the ones that didn't fail. Kent, they've been proven.
They've made it past that breach. Now
See,
there's a good chance they're going to
Falcon
last for a
Northwest,
long time.
who
I
has
think
the
Seagates are doing pretty well at Backblaze, actually. But anyway.
Falcon Northwest is in the chat. I just want to mention they have the best warranty in the business when it comes to PC. Like you buy any of their computers and it's by default a 3-year
And their
warranty.
spinning rust is
And they
Western
do
Digital.
lifetime tech support. They use Western Digital. So that's all I need to know.
So are these drives like the M&M test of strength? You take two M&Ms and you crush them,
Yeah.
and you know the one that survives, you crush that against another one, and after like 50 iterations, the one that's left is the toughest M&M. Is that what?
Where
this is
are you
like?
going with
Yes.
this? Okay.
Josh is being 100% accurate.
Josh is being
Josh,
obsequious.
that M&M was a golden sample. Okay.
Oh,
was.
Yes.
Their mileage might vary. You might get a bad M&M.
You know that
I don't
that
know.
M&M, if it was a hard drive, would last 100 years.
Your green
Yes.
M&Ms might not be as strong as mine.
The carnauba wax on that one, undefeatable.
you know, I just find myself wondering if you get to an M&M that is actually that hard, would you want to eat it?
No,
gonna
you
break
keep
a
it
tooth
for the
on
next
that.
generation.
No, it's a
Yeah,
champion.
probably,
You would never
exactly.
eat that one.
I misused the word obsequious, by the way. I'm like, wait, was that the right word? No, it was not.
How about clairvoyant? Because you can
No.
be purple, obsequious, and clairvoyant. In fact, that's optimal.
I think there was a song written about that.
No.
Be courteous, kind, and
The-
forgiving.
Mhm.
Be
I
gentle
was
and
thinking
peaceful.
one-eyed,
each
one-horned,
day.
flying purple people eater, but all right.
No.
Our next news story comes via the Register. Guess how much stored data is ever used or accessed? Not a lot, says NetApp.
But don't delete it, because I might need
Yes.
it. 7 to 8 gigs of every 10 gigs that you have to keep active and backed up and accessible is never touched
Oh,
again
of course not.
after
Well, but
about a year.
you just never know.
Yes,
Are you saying
I
that
do.
people are?
It's
Are you saying that
garbage.
people are
Just get rid of
data
it.
hoarders?
I'm saying that someone recently got caught out because they were being told, you know, you really need to update this document because I believe it was written in Word 97. Yes, the document had never been updated since we went from doc to docx. Yeah, we
No
still
one
need that one.
saved.
Just redo it from scratch.
There is
Don't
nothing
even
wrong with
import that.
.doc. And by the way, what has really improved since Word 97? It's just gotten
Nothing.
worse and more bloated.
I wanna
Well,
use the
first
word
off, you're wrong.
The ribbon.
The ribbon
Word
interface.
perfect.
Yeah, no.
WordPerfect 5.1 is the pinnacle. After that,
So basically,
and
this is a
don't bring
story
up
of the
Vim
fact that
Remax.
you're the problem in a microcosm. You know, you've got some number of backups that you're keeping locally. Well, multiply that into the data center, and you have a tremendous issue of somewhere between conservatively 40% or so to almost 80% of the data in data centers just aren't accessed regularly enough to warrant keeping them on like near storage or like hot storage or drives, spinning drives or whatever. The funny issue, it's not really so funny when you think about it, is that the cost to continue to keep this data that is never accessed alive and sort of near accessible starts to become a real burden. Right now, there's some numbers out there from the UK, because this is where the register is located and where this company actually did some of the surveying. They're seeing 2 to 3% of the electrical output of the entire country is actually running data centers. And a significant portion of the data center's power usage is in keeping all of this data available at an instantaneous, accessible
40 to 80% of it.
And this is going to continue to grow. And in the next few years, that's going to double what it takes to keep all of the data available, especially with the explosion of AI and huge pools of data that they're using for models, and that they're continuing to evolve that. And everybody's got to have their own specialized one. So this problem is going to get significantly worse. And if we're at all concerned about the generation of electricity and the consumption of it and the efficiency that we're all dealing with, this is actually a problem that needs analyzing, and that we're not very good at this sort of thing. So it's sort of a hidden drag right now.
It's a problem that needs to be moved to tape. Once it's on tape, it's not electricity anymore, and it can sit there.
Yeah, that's the perfect solution for all the data that you refuse to delete that you'll never access again.
It probably is something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Sequest. Is that what they were? Sequest drives? I'm just sure.
Yeah.
What about worm drives? Worm drives going.
Roy Schneider is a Navy captain. Sequest.
No,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing right now.
Sequest.
Some kid with a sentient dolphin.
What was wrong with me?
Yeah.
What is wrong? I'm losing my mind. They were SideQuest drives. Sequest drives.
Yes, Doctor got you, SideQuest.
I know. Let me just.
Welcome to Insecurity Corner, your weekly reason to drink.
There's a little bit of an issue here with something called snowblind.
Yes, this is an interesting one. There were so many to choose from, as always, this week. But this one is interesting because it literally attacks and gets around what Android uses to ensure that any APK you install is the actual APK that you're supposed to be installing and hasn't been tampered with. And I mean, I'll start out with the good news, which is it's only been spotted in one targeted attack in Southeast Asia, and no one else seems to have used it yet. That's the end of the fun. What this is going after the Linux kernel seccomp, secure computing, which is supposed to be this thing that sits on the kernel, ensures that anything you install checks out with them. If you get infected with a snowblind, it is able to send seccomp an error, a bad argument, and it then, okay, fine, sorry, bad argument, let me send that again, in which case it redirects the security on your Android to a completely different APK than the one you're actually installing. And the one that it directs it to looks perfectly fine. Meanwhile, you're installing the horribly cracked one that has just taken complete and utter control of your device. It's a nasty one. Google has responded officially saying that as far as we know, none of the official apps on our store are, providing this horrible infection to you. We've found that that's often not necessarily the case. They just haven't found it yet. And it's an obscure one, but if they can find some random insecurity on that Android device and can dump this on there, from then on, it doesn't matter what you do. You will be downloading poison stuff because it can't tell the difference. It's a really nasty one that hopefully doesn't catch on and hopefully gets patched relatively soon. But as we all love with all of our Android devices, they hit end of life. They no longer get security updates, and we still depend on them and use them every day.
I was going to say they hit end of life as soon as they hit your hand. That was going to be my way to complete
pretty
that
much, yeah.
for you. Look at this new Android. It's already unpatchable.
Hey, I've got the May security update on my Motorola phone. It's fine.
Okay.
It's you're totally cool now.
Yeah, it's still on Android 13, but yeah.
I don't know if anybody's noticed our seamless integration here with our video feeds today.
Yeah, that was, I painstakingly did this. This is in, by the way, if you're doing this at home, it's the 6 person multi-view display with a plus 1.13x zoom on each square, and then an additional, I had to set it to plus 1.19 x-axis zoom. And look at it. There's no limit.
It's seamless.
It's
It's
completely
absolutely
seamless.
seamless. It
It's
is.
seamless
Thank
to you. It's
It is.
seamless to us. I have to save this so I don't.
PCPer without borders.
Yeah.
We don't
It's like
have
Doctors
borders
Without Borders, only totally
anymore.
useless to anyone.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just as a thing to introduce here, if you're watching the show and you want to get on some background of what's going on during the show, you should watch us on Wednesday nights, because people like Kelt from Falcon Northwest actually gives us really interesting information, like the PCIe 5.0 drives that they've been shipping, only crucial, they've
Yeah.
been having a 0.15% defect rate, which is not bad. And that's information you can't get really anywhere else. So join us
Yes.
Wednesday nights live. Get the whole thing and join our YouTube and IRC chat and Discord. And yeah,
Take it away,
Man.
Brett.
Security
I got this one.
corner is just hopping tonight.
Chock full.
Next up, Brett, please tell us about Polyfill IO.
I will. This is a JavaScript library that was used to essentially add missing features to older browsers, any number of things. It almost doesn't really matter. It was a great idea and still is, but a lot of people elected to use the Polyfill IO CDN, the Content Delivery Network, to grab the latest versions. Oftentimes, this is a great idea. Unfortunately, it becomes a very bad idea when the domain is left to go stale and is bought up by a Chinese organization that is essentially not only delivering the polyfill code that you would like and expect, but they're putting malware in what is being delivered. Over 100,000 websites are still pulling the Polyfill IO library from the CDN, and this is injecting a variety of malware into your browser running on your machine when you browse those websites. And they're not small sites. They're sites like I think there's some World Health things in there. There's like Intuit is in there, and a couple of, but it's well over 100,000 sites that are using Polyfill.io. Basically, the Chinese have owned your web space. If you're allowing access to continue
What's
to
with the past
download,
tense?
well, if what's with the past
They
tense? You're
own.
right. They do own. They have essentially owned potentially, your web space, be that your server, if you're using server side JavaScript, it depends, or potentially they are wedging client browsers as they're pulling the Polyfill.io directly into their local machine's DOM, document object model. The possibilities are endless for malware delivery in this, and there's many vectors at which it could possibly be delivered. So this is more to serve as I don't know, as a warning to the owners of such sites that they may please fix it. It's very bad. That's it.
Moving on from Bleeping Computer, hackers target new Move It transfer critical off bypass bug.
As if the first time around wasn't enough for you to stop using this. Go ahead, Jeremy. I think you got this one.
No, that's just damn funny. Because Move It. You might not, if you're just a casual computer guy, you might not have ever heard of it, because this is specifically used by enterprise to securely transfer files between themselves and their customers and other places in which you may want to make sure that you're definitely securing your data that you're transferring. And it, depending on how you're set up, SFTP, no problem. SCP, no problem. HTTP, well, yeah, they sort of fake HTTPS, but I wouldn't recommend that one, but still it's handy for the clients who can't figure out the other two. And the thing is that there are a whole bunch of attacks being monitored right now. The flaw allows them to access just about frickin' anything that you send over Move It, which was, I mean, I feel I'm repeating myself from what was it, about a month and a half ago?
About a month ago, yeah.
Yeah, where this was hit. And we're talking not dozens, we're talking thousands. It's mostly the US that's under attack right now. But anyone who's using any of these Move It based transfer instances is, yeah, it's really freaking bad. It's not quite as bad as the first one, but it's still bad enough that, yeah, if you're dealing with Move It, do not, because the thing is that Move It has assured you, as an enterprise customer, you have to take no actions whatsoever to mitigate the critical flaw. We're definitely automatically deploying the patches, just like we did last month.
Yeah, right.
It's, yeah.
I like the mitigation suggestion is to simply block
RDP?
Block RDP or remote desktop to your enterprise Move It servers. It's like, if I block RDP to my Move It server, how will I manage them? Will I have to actually physically go? I have to physically go there? But yeah, that's the mitigation scenario right now. The inverse of that is that the passwordless full admin access that this Move It vulnerability essentially grants the malware folks to your Move It servers is what is happening. That's the bad side. That's the downside here.
Yeah.
Unauthenticated admin access to your Move It servers. Pause for effect.
Was that the last story in Security Corner?
Sure.
Dang.
Yes.
No. Well, it could be.
No, it's not.
Okay, no. We have to have. All right, there's one more story in Security Corner, and then we can move on. That PowerShell fix for your root cert problem is a malware loader in disguise. Sorry, guys.
Jeremy, do you know this one?
Kind of.
Well, what it is these are web-based. They are web-based pop-ups that happen on a variety of websites that are crafted to look like other processes or other applications' error messages. So they'll pop up and they'll say, hey, problem with XYZ. And they'll pick very popular programs that you're probably running, Chrome among them, Microsoft Word, a OneDrive error message. And then there'll be a prompt within that very official looking pop-up message that says, hey, fix this problem. And what that does is it'll launch a what looks like it will take you to a website that will detail this is a very simple problem. You just take this snippet of code and you cut and paste this into a shell, a PowerShell or whatnot, and you'll be all fixed up and this will take care of your problem. Well, a lot of less, even technical users are being brought into this one. Will cut and paste this code because how many people don't go to Stack Exchange and just cut and paste and assume it's going to fix your problem? So this is sort of like the Stack Exchange effect for non-programmers, if you know what I mean. And they're just cutting and pasting these PowerShell scripts into their local machine, and it's granting all kinds of privileges as well as downloading additional malware onto the local device and then opening up backdoors, essentially allowing malware authors to completely own your machine. But a lot of people are taken in by this ploy, and it's becoming very popular. So be very critical in eyeing error messages that just pop up when you're viewing a website.
Honestly, if you see a button that says click here to fix everything,
yeah, click here to fix this. Yeah, that's your clue.
The easy button was a lie.
Yes, this is unfortunately effective. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, it's remarkably effective.
All right, it is time to move on to gaming quick hits. And our first story comes via Ars Technica. John Romero, looking back at the birth of the first-person shooter.
His first one, Catacomb 3D, was in 1991. I don't feel young saying that at all.
Yeah. Because then the follow-up was the Catacomb Abyss, which was slightly better
'cause
graphics.
Yeah. Well, because this was back in the day when they had, what was it? Gamer's Edge magazine. And they literally like, oh, it's coming out next month. All right, we got to develop a new game to spew out with it. And that's what they did until ID, or ID, if you perform, was formed. And then they were like, wait a second. We have all the time that we possibly need to develop a game, which became Wolfenstein 3D, which, I mean, for those of us of a certain age.
Okay, so did anybody notice that the Lich was actually a lawyer?
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
It was Esquire. Yeah,
Esquire, yeah.
I'm not sure that whoever wrote that understood what that meant.
Oh, no,
Oh,
they understood totally. So, anyway.
But yeah, so he talks about a lot of what he did, and a bit of the beginning, and also how he feels about the current state of it, which apparently he likes battle royale games. The thing is, as he says, you walk into Counter-Strike without a lot of skills, you don't have fun. You die, and then you sit there and you wait until the next round, and then you die. The battle royale, I mean, the chaos just means you can run around and you can have a lot of fun. And I can totally understand that, although I doubt he lacks skills. But the other thing he was interested in was, the whole boomer shooter, which, I mean, most of the boomers don't play shooters. It's us Gen X folks that are, but we don't care, so we'll get over that. But he's loving
have you ever played World of Warships? That's a total boomer shooter.
Yeah, well, that's a post-ad game.
Anyway.
But he's
I don't
loving
like to play with other
that,
people, though. I don't like other people. I
don't get along with other people, as you can tell. But he loves the fact that he can pull out tricks that he never would have been able to with these sort of retro style, but with over 30 years of experience in this. The stuff he can pull out on a retro game like he's been doing for a little while is, just a lot of fun for him. And to be honest, I haven't played a lot of them. I probably should just download them and give it a shot. And the other thing that he brought up, which, again, is going to date us, is WAD. WAD is what invented the modding community. When Doom came out, WAD file format made it so easy to create your own maps, to drop in lighting, to do all sorts of fun different things. But after that, you got Quake and you got the follow-ups, and things became a lot more difficult to mod. You couldn't just sit down, spend an afternoon developing a map with your friends, and then go play it in the evening. So he does kind of miss that sort of thing. Check it out, though, because John Romero brought us Doom Guy. He brought us essentially the first-person shooter. There were some before
Doom
that.
WADs. I mean, it's like the friend of mine who was big into WADs. I mean, would download the Barney the dinosaur WAD, and go about through the entire thing just blasting Barney. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing Doom on Solaris of all things.
Oh my goodness!
Talk about
you can play it on a calculator, so you can play it on anything. All right, next from Rock Paper Shotgun, Riven's remake is out. Look at how beautiful this is.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Probably not using
I checked,
QuickTime
the
anymore.
demo was gone, so you got to buy it for 10% off.
Okay.
But it looks prettier than it did, and it looked pretty back in the day.
Yep, it sure did.
Wow.
Yep. Missed too much game for you? No. Maybe Riven might not be for you either, but
Yeah.
Okay, that was that story.
That's it. That's it. Quick
Just
hit.
by the way,
Quick hit.
PSA Riven's remake. Ars
This is another one of
Technica
those.
has a story from Infocom to 80 Days, an oral history of text games and interactive fiction. Sounds
I thought
interesting.
This group of people might have something to say about Infocom games, so I threw this in there.
Now
just to
these
see
are
if
boomer games, right? Am I right?
This would spark a conversation.
Yes.
Come on, Zork.
You have been
guys never
eaten
played Zork.
by a group.
I've never played Zork.
You liar. Hitchhiker's
never
Guide to the
played Zork.
Galaxy? Hitchhiker's Guide is on this. Oh my god.
Come on, Zork. You go up to the dam, underground dam. You know?
Yep.
Wow, I've heard of it. I've just never actually sat down and played it.
You've never built that hot air balloon then?
No.
I'm slightly more disappointed in Sebastian at this point.
I mean, you've definitely got the hardware to run it.
I like how
That I do.
The lead photo at the top of the story actually says Commodore underneath the monitor. That
Yes,
is,
it does.
Yes.
That doesn't
very-
look like...
It's an Amiga. That the picture's an Amiga.
It is an
It's
Amiga? Oh, okay.
monitor. Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
1084 monitor from Commodore there.
Correct. Yep. Actually, the picture is titled "Zork running on the Amiga" at the Computer
It's
Spiel.
like an Amiga
Museum.
500
It looks that way.
based on the... Yes.
So
Okay,
people
but you
used
can
to
play
type-
You're
Zork
gonna get eaten by a group.
in a browser.
and people
Zork.
probably don't even understand what this means. You used to be able to type commands into a green screen text interface to say walk, west, and then look.
I'm sorry,
to
I
look
do not
around you.
understand that command.
Exactly. So there was some, natural language parser that didn't understand natural language. It was very, very frustrating to some degree. But if you like the graphics in your head, it's like reading a story but interacting with it. So this is an article on the very beginnings of that interactive fiction, which became lots of Discovery games with real graphics later on. Pee on Matt. Pick up Matt again. Throw Matt. Pick up Matt.
That's not a verb I recognize.
Dang
That's
it.
not a verb I recognize. Yeah.
All right, you can't do
I
anything.
I assume you're typing that in real time.
Yeah, I was at textadventures.co.uk, and I found Zork.
Hey, if you want to get really frustrated, fire up the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy one.
Oh yeah.
It was specifically designed to annoy the hell out of everyone.
Don't forget to put the fish in your ear.
Yeah.
Finally, in gaming quick hits, Humble Bundle. What is this? Straight GOG, but it's spelled differently.
No.
What does that mean? Strata?
It's Strategy OG.
Oh my goodness! How would you read
Oh.
STRATE
Can you
hyphen
tell?
GOG and it's strategy? I don't
Can
know.
you tell?
It's-
I didn't put
If you
the
can't
story in
figure out
here.
the title, you're not going to figure out the games.
That's fine. Yeah, it's actually pretty accurate.
But no, it's a half dozen good strategy games, which if you don't already have, it's a really good value.
Let's move beyond that segment to picks of the week. Josh, please get us started.
Oh, picks of the week.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
give
bro.
me a second. All right, hang on.
What? Are you not ready?
What? What is he doing?
Is he wearing short? He's wearing basketball shorts. Okay.
Where is he going? Where is he
And
going?
the white socks with the slippers. Oh, we
What
got a
is
driver.
this?
What
Speaking
kind
of
of driver
golf,
is this? Oh no, he's showing off how much room he has in his office.
I don't understand. He's playing.
He's
He's
downloaded
playing
a new
through.
driver.
He's playing through.
No, he downloaded a new
Wait,
driver.
Kirkland has golf clubs?
This is Costco of golf.
Yeah,
don't understand.
Costco makes
So
golf
Kirkland
clubs now.
gave you head.
Costco is making golf clubs.
Not only
Kirkland
that,
gave
but
him
they're
head.
making really, really good golf clubs.
Okay.
Kirkland Select Driver. It's a $200 driver that compares very well to like a $600, $700 unit from, who's one of the other big guys? It's the QI10.
Ping has
Nope.
probably the number one rated driver.
No,
Cobra.
nope.
Okay.
Husqvarna.
Come on.
TaylorMade.
Nope. Nope, not TaylorMade. Yeah, TaylorMade.
Freaking
Nope,
Jeremy
nope, not the
with
biggest golf company in the world. Nope, not them.
with Husqvarna
Not
in
them.
the background.
Not them. But anyway, for $200, you get a really, really sweet driver from them. And
Can you show us the shaft, Josh? Can you show us the shaft?
You know what?
they have the shaft is an even flow riptide.
Okay. What's the
there.
those are lightweight. What's the weight on that one? Is that a 50-gram shaft?
I don't know about that.
What about the kick point on that? It
got
says
really
it. There's
nice,
text on the shaft.
lambskin.
Lambkin.
Lambskin.
Lambkin.
Lambskin,
It's a
lambskin is
lambkin.
always really good on the
Lambkin
shaft.
is
It's
probably
Josh is
second to
clearly-
Golf Pride in
clearly-
popularity.
Golf aficionado, I'd like to say. That's clearly what,
This is the first.
So you're wrapping it in
First-
sheep's bladder.
Exactly.
Oh my
This is the first golf club that I bought in 34 years.
He's finally retiring that old persimmon wood driver, and he's moving on to 460cc technology.
No, in 1990, I got for graduating high school a new set of clubs that the first generation of graphite shafts on the woods, but they were not woods; they were metals, obviously. But I've been using those for just obviously ages, and now it's time to finally upgrade. So my pick of the week
handling
is
the old wood.
yeah. No, persimmon was it's a tough wood, and the feel of it when you actually hit a persimmon wood, it's really good. It just doesn't have the performance of a current generation with carbon fiber and titanium alloy and all that stuff. But yeah, I love persimmon woods.
Mm-hmm.
$199.99. Get it from Costco. Go out, enjoy some sun and grass, and hit some balls. Know what I'm saying? Yeah,
It's too
But
easy.
you have a
Perfect
Billy
good way
Baru
to
putter.
ruin a good
That's the
walk.
big question.
I do not. Billy. No.
Billy.
What loft did you get?
It's the 10.5
Okay,
degree.
that's right in the. I mean, that's right in the middle. That's pretty good for most people.
Yeah, but it is adjustable. You could go to 9.5 or 11.5 or a 10.5 draw.
Yes, I see that. It
So,
has the
yeah.
adjustable. It comes with the
Hang on.
Threadripper tool that also works on drivers. Yes.
Yeah, it's got the torque wrench or torque. Comes with it. You pop it in there. You undo the shaft. Do that with this, and then when you tighten it up,
And then you crank it.
one click, and you have the correct torque. Oh yeah, there you go. So don't do like the CPU experts that went one click and then went beyond and broke there. Yeah, that was good times. So there you have it.
Jeremy, your pick this week.
Please don't be golf. Please don't be golf. Please don't be golf.
It is not. Although it is odd and definitely something that only the older folks know. You've got an old fan. And I mean, why are you upgrading your machine right now? Because there is nothing exciting to upgrade for. But you've got a case fan or a GPU fan that's, getting a little bit loud because obviously it's getting a little dirty. And don't pull out the WD-40. That's for water displacement. 3-in-1 household oil is not bad, but what you actually want is something specifically designed for an industrial machine that goes both fast and slow. And I had to re-up because I actually used up the rest of mine, so I thought I would bring this up. Singer sewing machine oil. If you've got a nasty fan, ball bearing fan, it needs lubrication. This is the stuff you want. It is beautiful. It holds on, it doesn't gum up, and literally is designed for, hey, if you want it running slow, it's perfectly fine with that. If you need that full spinning at full blast, it's fine, because sewing machines are literally designed to do that. They're doing 1,000 stitches a minute, and they're doing little picks. If you don't know this, some of us already do, I'm sure. But if you don't know this, It's not expensive, and it is so much better than even like lightweight oil, which, lightweight engine oil is designed to run very quickly for an hour, maybe 2, maybe 4, and then shut off. You shut your computer off for 10 hours a day? No, it's still running. You want something that's supposed to be running all the time. You could, as Mir says, spend a hell of a lot more on a Teflon oil. And hey, I won't diss them. They are great. But they're a hell of a lot more expensive. So, take it from us old farts. This is actually not a bad way to go when you just need to get rid of that squeaky fan. Apparently, Brett's going to make it even weirder.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Brett, your pick.
No, I'm definitely going a little bit weird and a little bit offshoot on this. But I've had an opportunity to recently do some flooring updates around the hacienda. And I've gone with a not buy it off the shelf at the local home improvement store, your Home Depots or your Lowe's. And I've gone with a coating company that is a supplier to industrial supply, aircraft hangars, manufacturing facilities, warehousing, and it is a tremendous coating. And it is extremely high wear, very, very glossy if you use the top coat. It's like a professional level set of epoxy, chemicals, and all that, but delivered to you as a DIY. If you have a space that you need this sort of thing in, be it a basement or a garage, and you're thinking about putting in a really, really sturdy floor, and you want something that's probably very unlikely to peel up if you do your prep work correctly, this might be something you want to look into. There's no discount here. It's not especially cheap. It's, I would say, fairly expensive for this sort of thing. But if you are going to be doing some work in the garage and you're like a car guy, or you're maybe an off-road person who's working on stuff in your basement, or you have a workshop or something like that, you might want to check this guy or check these guys out. Ucoatit.com. So
I need to do that in my basement.
you might want to check
But I
this
have
out.
to replace my boiler first, which is $8,600. So
You definitely want to replace the boiler before you put the new flooring down. Unless
Now, this sort of thing
you
is
can
a
leave the
fraction.
flooring down.
This
get
is
the
a
boiler
fraction
people
of
to
that
screw it
number.
up.
Oh, that's good.
It's expensive, but I mean, it's not anywhere near, replace your boiler sort of expensive. I mean, if you've got, a 500 or 600 or, 800 square feet to do, you're probably going to spend a few $100, $400 or $500 to do.
oh,
this.
that's not bad.
Kent, your pick this week.
So my pick this week is a place, if you're looking to personalize your PC, or, maybe you need something in a specific build you're working on, I've found a really unique place that a lot of people don't think about when they're thinking about PC modding, and it's Etsy. There are a lot of people that make very custom, very unique, and you can even contact a lot of them and tell them what you need and get custom-made pieces for your PCs.
Okay, what are you selling on there, Ken?
I'm not selling anything on here. I have bought several custom pieces for PCs in the last year off of Etsy artists, I guess you would call them.
Right here. I'm pretty sure this is on his front
No,
door.
that's the tattoo I've got on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Of course it is.
He started it.
Features media enhanced graphics.
Lots of free printed stuff. Look at this. You can put 4
Oh, no, go back.
hands. Where's the other picture? Where did it go? Here we go.
Yeah, Etsy is a great resource for the sort of these oddities.
Okay. That's
Oh yeah,
a good
yeah. It's a
track on north.
yeah. I've found a lot of pretty cool stuff on there. And then some,
permafrost,
artsy
fan shroud
kind
is
of
pretty nice looking.
Yeah.
What is happening here?
Wow.
Someone
the
wanted to
practical
build a
side-
snowman.
On the practical side, I did get kits for doing some rack mounting on the rack behind me for gear that did not come with rack mount ears or anything. So some guys in Australia are building.
Yes.
I think I had a pick of
You
the week
picked
at
this
one point.
a few weeks ago, yes.
I did, yes. Yep. So some of this gear was mounted using some stuff off of Etsy.
By the way, speaking of
fantastic.
Etsy, since we're talking about it, if you're into vintage computing, then check Etsy, because sometimes somebody will throw something on there and it's less than eBay and it can be a better experience. Find old compact laptops that barely work, other things that you could fill your home with on Etsy.
You're speaking from experience.
Filling home,
Maybe.
which
From
is
the heart.
what I did
Yes.
this week.
Yeah, it's going to happen someday for me too. I have a pick this week.
We got-
It's a YouTube channel that I discovered recently, and because I've been watching a lot of car videos lately, and there was a recommendation. This is a guy who used to work for GM in some capacity or other. He lives in the Detroit area. He has a surprisingly large amount of vehicles for being just an individual, and he has a YouTube channel called Rare Classic Cars and Automotive History. In depth, like super in depth. If you go through the back catalog, by the way, this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. The Ford/Mercury wrist twist steering in 1965. Obviously, round steering wheels are they're kind of basic, average.
Oh.
Sometimes you have a squircle. Well,
Dodge.
what happens? And Tesla, of course, has their weird thing.
Yeah, well.
The yoke. It's a yoke.
Look at
What
this.
if I wanted to use a PlayStation controller?
Now, wait a minute.
This is
How
the
does this work?
wrist twist. It does not. You might think, oh, you just grab the sides and turn. No, the thing does not move. It's just the little circles that move, and you have thumb holes. You put your hand on each of these discs, and you just turn your wrists to steer. There's a demonstration video from back in the day where they have somebody get in this car, and they're showing
And
them how
lose
to
both their
operate
hands?
it. You can tilt it, and then you just turn the. There's the little turn signals there. Oh, okay. And then
Beep, beep.
you just turn this instead of turning the wheel. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea, but it's so easy to operate your wrist twist. I wonder if any of these still exist.
Just tell me that the two wrist twists operate each wheel individually. That
That would be great,
mean,
but no,
I'm
these are
hoping so.
They're linked. They were actually
Oh,
two
well, that's-
power steering systems, so there was a fallback in case the first one failed, because otherwise you'd lose control of your vehicle.
Yeah.
And look at how easy it is to parallel park this big old car using the wrist twist. I'm sure this is just the first take. No editing here.
No.
Oh yeah, no problems.
Oh,
They're
bam.
they're trying to.
one shot.
But
It's 1965. They were trying to show that it was so easy even a woman could drive it.
Well, that's the thing. The engineer got out of the
Yeah.
car and says, "Hey, woman, get over here and I'll teach you how to use the wrist twist." That's our show for this week, and we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you are watching it over and over on our YouTube channel, leaving comments, having us interact with you, tuning in on Wednesday
Comments.
nights for all the stuff you
Comments.
didn't get to see or hear
Yes.
that was left on the cutting room floor. Anyway, tune in again next Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, live. Catch us live as we record the podcast, or don't, and go to bed instead, like a sane person. And until then,
same bat time, same
Yeah.
bat channel.